to Tales of Winternacht and the Tale of Cybil's Spear, our primary actual play D&D 5e campaign. Tonight we visit Chapter 24 of Book 3 of our campaign. I'm Silver, I'll be your storyteller this evening. With me are our players Dustin, Conrad, Ernie, Saga, AJ, and special guest Ollie. Jeff will not be with us tonight due to illness. We wish him well and a speedy recovery so we can get our barbarian back next week. For those of you tuning in for the first time, or if you've missed a session, I'd like to encourage you to check out previous sessions on our YouTube channel. Also, I'd like to direct you to our Discord server and Instagram to join our community, interact with us. Links to all of these can be found in the About section of the Twitch channel. Also want to thank Smiteworks for Fantasy Grounds, our virtual tabletop of choice, Sirenscape for our amazing ambient sound effects and music, Discord for our voice and video, Wizards of the Coast for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, the game we play. Tales of Winternacht is not sponsored by, nor are we an official representative of any of these companies, and the views and statements made during our game do not in any way represent those of the companies. With that out of the way, tonight we will continue our current giveaway. We're looking to get to 110 followers. Upon reaching that point, giving away a set of stickers featuring the art of our party characters made by our very own and very talented AJ. Same rules apply as have in the past. To enter the giveaway, redeem 100 channel points to activate the enter giveaway option and join our Discord. Everyone eligible can enter once per stream and accumulate multiple entries until we reach the 110 follower mark, at which time we will choose one entry as a winner. If you're chosen as the winner of the giveaway, you'll be contacted on Discord to get your mailing address to send you your prize. And if we give away 110 followers, we'll do another giveaway after that. So get us to 110 so we can go to 125 and see what that comes with. We have some dice. I'm sure we can find some other fun things to give away. I'd like to reward all of you out there for helping support us here. So, with all of that hullabaloo out of the way, never thought I'd say hullabaloo on a stream, but I just did. So there we go. Previously, on the tale of Cybil's Spear. Cybil's Spear, once 6 strangers, has become a formidable adventuring party, forged through countless trials. Now their greatest foe looms ahead, Kurzarath, the Dreamer, a being of unknown purpose and unknown power who once ensnared many of them and some of their loved ones in a realm beyond comprehension. Their journey has brought them to Torsland, frigid homeland of their barbarian companion Jofridir. Arriving in the port city of Riyab, they reunited with Jofridir's beloved Aliona, and together made their way to his birthplace, Snodskal, only to find devastation. The village had been ravaged, its adults either slaughtered or vanished, leaving only the children hidden away in the sea caves, under the care of a lighthouse keeper, Helen. Among the fallen was Jofridir's brother Ivor, as well as the village wiseman Herdert. Yet his father, mother, and sister were nowhere to be found. Chilling discovery was made. Though Ivor's body lay lifeless, his spirit remained tethered to a dagger marked with an unfamiliar name, Luvenia. Determined to uncover the truth, the party set out for Bjornsflute, home of the Isbjorn clan, whom they suspected played a role in the attack. Aliona stayed behind to help Helen escort the surviving children to safety in Riyadh. Over the course of their journey, the party faced both natural and unnatural challenges, revealing deeper mysteries within the land of Torsland. Upon reaching Bjornsflute, they infiltrated the village and found Jofridir's father, Torsten, alive, bloodied and brutalized in the fighting pit. Their intervention sparked open combat with the warriors of Bjornsflute. A battle abruptly halted by the arrival of Navara, a silver dragon. Under her protection, the party was escorted to a remote mine at the foot of the Dristigfell Mountains. Following day, they ascended the mountains and entered the cave lair of Zormira the White, in the very chamber where Torsten had slain the mighty Gerzogar decades before. The party confronted Zormira in a deadly battle. Against all odds, they emerged victorious. With the dragon slain, they searched for spoils, both in the depths of the chasm below and by harvesting the dragon herself. In the depths, Alfred and Salinas discovered the frozen remains of a fallen stranger and a few valuable items. But they were not alone. Dozens of ice spiders lurked below, forcing them into a desperate escape. Meanwhile, the rest of the party prepared last rites for the fallen dragons. With the spiders in pursuit, the party was forced to hold them at bay until the rites were complete, where they could flee to the safety of the moonlit summit outside the cave. There, under the cold night sky, they made camp. As the storm howled beyond their magical shelter, tensions simmered. Kiesel voiced concerns about Alfred to Zedri, while Salinas, burdened by doubt, confided his crisis of faith to Torsten. The night passed, but their trials are far from over. Here, at the entrance to Zermira's lair, it is early morning. On the 5th day of Sonman, our tale resumes as the party wakes from their night's rest. Point of clarification for anybody confused by all the cheers and the hands raised. They have not known what day it was for a while, and I think it's been aggravating a lot of people. So,
We have answers.
We have a date.
as the first light of dawn breaks over the horizon, you each begin to stir inside the warmth and safety of Salinas' magical hut. The air feeling crisper than before, the storm still swirling outside in a fairly light form. But with the faint light of morning, it seems more like a blanket than an adversary. As you each awaken, I'll leave it to you on whether anybody has any morning activities, any conversations they want to grab before you start making your way down the mountain.
I think Alfred would like to get up. He'll do his usual morning routine with Cybil, sort of just like getting her for a little jog and whatnot. But after doing that and um, a small prayer to Infernus for the morning, he's gonna go and try and wake Linus. As difficult of a task that might be.
Salinas is awake because he had last watch.
Oh my! You made this so easy for me. Thank you so much. Yeah. So what is Salinas doing as he finishes his watch?
um, Salinas is staring, contemplating his place in the world as he watches the sunrise.
Uh, well then Alfred will find a place next to him, sit down, and whoa, it's morning already.
It is.
Well, I hope that you had a good rest and obviously there wasn't too much that happened during the last watch.
Thankfully, no. I think Torsten may have spotted our dragon friend, but she has not come and visited yet. So, no word on that front.
All right. Well, it's not necessarily in my spell list yet. I thought I was buying enough time, but well, if you would like, with the morning we can take a look at some of the items that we got.
Ah, that'd be lovely.
Uh, yes, and Alfred will begin to ritually take out his sort of instruments and trinkets and doodads and place them out about him and Salinas, um, placing a cloth on the ground, sort of at least give a little bit of a placemat. Um, and then he'll begin to look at all the items that we've acquired the previous night in the depths of the spider cave.
Okay. As you are doing that, Anybody else have it or conversation?
Well, Salinas is pretty popular this morning because Zedri is going to also head over because he has something that he has to return. So Zedri will approach. He would have probably spent some time in the morning doing stretches, things like that. But he'll saunter on over, pep in his step, and just say, didn't mean to interrupt anything between the two of you, but Salinas, I have this for you. And Zedri will go ahead and produce the ring.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh, no, it's not a intrusion at all. How are you doing this morning, Zedri?
I'm doing fine. It's just dreading the descent down the mountain. Hopefully, I can try to expedite the process a little bit, but I mean, I feel like I'm prone to slipping. I don't know about the rest of you, so that might not necessarily be the safest option.
Well, the good thing is if you slip on the way down, you're headed in the direction you want to go, versus slipping on the way up. It's sort of a harder thing.
Right. I suppose that is the positive side of things. But once we're all together, I can go ahead and conjure some good berries, give us some sustenance for the day, and then we can go ahead and talk about how we want to head down. We are going to have to choose at least one of us to move at a normal pace. I'm thinking it's going to be Cybil, and Zedri will eye the dog.
Well, I wonder. That's going to be a problem.
Zedri will give it away. He will give a polite wave, letting them get back to whatever they're doing, and then he will stamp out the remnants of. Did we set up a fire? Did anybody do that while they were outside of the dome at all?
Not during watch, but if anybody wanted to set something up to make warm food for breakfast, you could.
I could say Lonan's doing that as she's heating up some rations, whatever that might entail.
Enjoy your heated up hardtack.
I don't know if was there any meat left, or was that all dispensed with the Mergolda?
We got a lot of spider meat if we want to go harvest that.
Hey,
How old is that Mergolda meat?
No, it's preserved. We made jerky out of it.
Yeah,
Okay.
Out of the spoilers?
Out of the
No.
Magrovda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or at least a fire to kind of keep us warm as we're considering our morning plan.
Yeah, because the hut would be gone at this by now. So
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Salinas kept it up just long enough to finish his conversation with Torsten without having to face him, and then drop it. It's an alarm clock for everybody. Wakes
Yeah.
everybody up.
Yeah, no shit. I think Kiesel would wake up at this time as the sun is slowly starting to like descend on his face. I think the first thing he's gonna reach for is a pot in his backpack because I have cooking supplies, I think.
Really,
Something like that.
Lonan's gonna check in with Torsten this morning as well, if I may.
Yeah, he's just sat outside now the watch has ended, everyone's up. He's sort of sat outside like about maybe 10 feet away. He's taken off the splint mail and put it down, as well as the weapon, and he's sort of picking up snow, sort of warming it in his hands until it's more liquid, and then sort of like almost like kind of like sanctifying his own weapons and armor, like to like cleanse it. Combination of a form of water and his own body heat, combining him and Briora, at least in his mind.
Mm-hmm. You're still kind of stand to the side and wait till he's done with that before.
If you're within like 10 feet, he will just be like, "Can I help?"
And I was just wanted to check in on you, see how you're doing this morning.
There is one obstacle out of the way.
Yeah, no, that is a big thing. Unlikely we won't have to face her again.
This
But
means that the next thing we can do, hopefully, will reunite my family.
hope so. Definitely working hard to see that happen.
And it is appreciated. All of you helping to do this.
Trust me when I say I can empathize with you on that.
I'll turn sort of half turn, just be like, how so?
My husband has also been separated from me, and right now while I'm trying to save him, I'm away from my brother and my niece.
It is never easy to be apart from those that you love.
No, it ain't.
Are they at least safe?
Yeah, Draven and Nadia are fine. They're just back home. Physically, Arlo is safe, but mentally, it's complicated. I'm gonna hazard a guess and say, I don't know, Jofridir didn't tell you about the tavern. Unless he did.
I don't know if you've ever told Torsten about the tavern offhand.
I'm going to hazard a guess that yes, he probably would have when he was back. It's a all bit confusing and kind of jumbled in with all these other exploits and adventures, but basic familiarity with the supposedly got trapped in this thing, trusting your son, you believe it for the most part, although there's that little bit of skepticism on otherworldly beings of that power level that aren't the gods seems a little bit unlikely, so maybe he just had a really bad trip. What did these guys get him into? Bad influence.
Hanging out with a bunch of bad influences. That's like,
If these...
He's explained parts. Something to do with...
Yeah, if these guys are to be believed, which I do trust them, that's where he is. And I'd rather not dwell on that too much.
Absolutely.
But I also wanted to ask, as this is your homeland, as far as going down the mountain, are there any particular safety tips? Or...
I will tell you what my father told me the first time I scaled the mountain. Don't fall.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, no, he was a very... It was... I like to think it was dry humor, but... it's... Whenever you get close to the top or close to the bottom of any climb, you start thinking too far ahead. Your only concentration should be on your next hold. When you climb down, it should be where your foot's going next, where your hands are going next. Concentrate on that. If you start thinking too ahead of yourself, you will not be paying attention. It's a good metaphor for life. It's a good metaphor for life, honestly.
Yeah, I was gonna say, good adage to live by in general.
If you keep looking forward to something, you don't appreciate what you're doing now. If you keep looking back, you can't appreciate things.
Yeah.
There are times when it's difficult to appreciate the present, but trying to find the best.
I think we both understand that feeling.
It's also just be like, I know you're not a follower of Briora, but I would say a prayer for the return of our families, for safety. Nothing long, nothing. But I say it every morning. It brings me some measure of comfort.
No, I've
Hopefully,
been.
it may do the same for you.
I appreciate it. I've been also praying to Noctalis.
Do you feel anything from him?
Not in the same way I think you or Salinas feel from Briora or Aurora, but I feel peace
It's a measure of what they can give.
and a little bit of comfort.
It's all you can hope for when times are bad.
Yeah, no.
Also,
That's one thing I can say is Noctalis has been there through some tough times.
I'll sort of like I still haven't like moved from like he's sort of like kneeling in front of his armor, and I'll sort of like gesture you over and like just to the place like next to him. I
Yeah,
say
sure.
it'll be a little cold, but
You know what? Luckily, I don't mind the cold very much.
then you're in the right place. And he'll briefly sort of like hold out a hand for Lenin to take. He'll sort of hold it, and then he'll like really briefly just be like, "Mistress of the Tides, guide our steps as you guide the waves to shore. Watch over those we love as the sea cradles those who trust in its depths. Let no storm keep us apart, no current pull us astray. May the waters between us carry only blessings, and may the tide bring us home. By your grace, let us find each other once more." I'll sort of like squeeze Leyland's hand and then just like move it away to go back to the position he was in before.
And let us kick the asses of whatever is keeping you from your family.
He'll sort of like he'll smile and just be like, I try and keep the cursing out when I'm trying to talk directly, but I think she knows. I think she knows.
That one was more to you, but
But then
yeah,
he will actually like look up briefly and just be like, "You hear that, Briora? I'm gonna kick the asses of the things standing in between us and our families."
Yeah, she'll pat his shoulder and go back to her morning stuff. Good talking to you.
Pleasure.
All right, Alfred. Your 2 items. So the blackish green gem pendant.
Mm-hmm.
I apologize. The thing says it's a silver chain. It's supposed to be an iron chain, but I think I ended up changing that when I gave the description last week anyway, so it can say a silver chain. That is and I'm gonna butcher how this is supposed to be pronounced, so if somebody else knows exactly how it's supposed to be pronounced, you go ahead and tell me. So Harriet?
Harriet.
Peridot.
Harriet.
Period. Yeah.
Oh, Periapt. Oh, okay.
Proof against poison.
Okay.
And the short sword, which has already been described as a silver short sword with a grooved blade, bone handle with scaled grip, and a teardrop pommel. Very well made silver blade. That this is a +1 short sword, but it's also a silvered weapon.
And it probably won't give anything, but just because we were talking about it last night, or not last night, yes, last night. The
Last night.
ring is not what's it called? Cursed. Magical.
Nothing magical about it, no.
Okay.
Just
have
a
to
pretty
check.
nice piece of bling.
hella
That's
cuz. So
worth
cuz.
a good amount of money.
Yeah.
Fair. Just have to make sure Alfred was not condemned to another fate.
um. Well.
Well, I mean, at least we have some decent things, yeah. The sword you have is, silvered even, and should be a little bit sharper, even without the silvered nature. Um, should be a little bit easier to hit with. And then the, necklace is, sorry, how do I describe,
It gives you immunity to poison condition, or resistance to poison.
Immune to the poison condition and immunity to poison damage.
okay, was immunity.
Ooh,
I wasn't
that's pretty
sure if it
good.
was resistance or immunity.
It was
Yeah,
a rare item.
Okay, yeah.
it's pretty good.
Yeah, we shouldn't have to worry about someone being poisoned at all if they're wearing this.
Well, that's pretty good. I mean, we should check with the rest of the group, but I don't know. I think that you should probably have the sword. You're kind of the one in the group that uses this style of weapon.
Um, Perhaps. I mean, I'm not necessarily in the front lines at all times, but if no one else would want it, then I'd be happy to hold it. And he'll sort of like give it a cursory like blow out towards the wind. It
Up the
does
wind
feel
real well.
it does feel quite nice and balanced, but again, we should ask everybody else before
Yes.
assigning anything.
I'll also point out that the pendant necklace is a non-attunement magic item. So
Ooh, that's crazy.
That is yeah, that's bonkers.
That is pretty bonkers.
Yeah, Salinas,
Salinas wasn't going
even
to make any bids for it because he thought it was. I thought it was an attunement item, and I don't have any attunement slots left.
you don't even have to spend some time with it. You could just wear it right now, and it'd be perfectly usable.
Oh, that's very impressive. Oh, speaking of which, Salinas digs in his pack, and he is going to return the Pearl of Power to Alfred, because he can no longer attune to it.
There's too many things to attune to. Um, you don't want to hold on to it anymore?
I would love to, but I'm sort of maxed out. After you've made that wonderful instrument for me,
Well, I'm glad that you like the instrument, but yeah, no, I guess I'm at a loss now with it because I felt like you were the best use of it, seeing as you're um it takes a lot of I guess time between your ability to go again.
well, actually, less time than a lot of you, but it's just smaller quantities.
Oh, yeah,
We
I
could
guess
check
that's
with Lonan perhaps, or Zedri might be interested.
okay. Well, if you want it back, just let me know. I'll go see if they need it.
Or, I mean, like I said, I can't use it right now anyway.
Oh, Alfred will pack that away.
How do you move something to a party sheet?
just drag the little red dot from your inventory over to the party sheet inventory page.
Cool. I shall do that.
And Alfred will pack away all of his instruments,
Hmm.
fold his cloth up.
All right. as you all finish up your morning activities. Snowstorm continues very light at this point. Just little flurries, dusting coming down, but keeps visibility down from where you would probably like it. And the morning light moves up into the clouds. And know that you're going to have to head back down into the thick of the storm. You head out. Anything else before you pack up your gear and head down?
So do we know exactly where we're going? I know we had a quick look last night while there was still moonlight, but now that the sun's up.
Well, the sun is kind of blocked by the snowstorm a bit still. I'm not sure how
Okay.
much visibility would be.
I mean, I figured our best path forward is following the path we came up on.
If speed is of the essence, I would definitely be more than willing to go ahead and assist with that. And Zidra will go ahead and tap the staff of healing that he has. Because I need to recover some of those. But he's also invited to use magic, so.
Wait,
If
are you
everybody.
damaged?
Just to recover the charges too.
Charges.
My bad.
If everybody would be amenable to something like that. And he'll look over, eyes definitely falling on Torsten more than anybody else. And then eyes starting towards Cybil too. But she's going to get left in the dust.
We need a little sled for her or something, right?
We had
I
one.
think you left that with the horses.
With the horses at the
Once
mine.
upon a time.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah, if it will make the climb down easier.
Right. Zidju will go ahead and take this staff, and he's just going to use it as a conduit to go ahead and start encircling. The wind kind of picks up in a radius around the entirety of the party, and everybody now is under the effects of wind it back. So you have double overland travel speeds for the next 12 hours.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Kiso, your cape looks so cool, billowing in the wind.
The wind's
Thank
at his
you.
back, so it's actually kind of just being like pressed against like his legs and
Oh no! The
Yeah.
unobstructed
I
just
would-
pressed against
It's
his
like a
shins.
wetsuit.
Yeah, it's hugging my calves, my very nice genetically calves. I would say this is less of a billow and more of a bellow, but thank you.
Well, I was never a language major, so you would know more.
I went to prison. I wouldn't.
I guess we should get going.
Anyway.
On that awkward note. Just for clarification on where are the where are the items going?
oh yeah, we should.
That
We
you
want to have
guys
a quick
found.
discussion of who gets what item real quick.
Oh, yeah. Selenas and I, y'all remember that we found some stuff down, and then the spiders came.
Mhm.
Well, those things we found were this amulet, and it'll block poison. It's interesting. It's sort of you don't even need to sit down with it and read the owner's manual. It just sort of works.
It has an owner's manual?
I mean, most things do. Most people don't read them. But yeah, no, you won't be able to be poisoned if you wear it. And then the sword is a little bit more agile than your normal steel long or steel short sword. And it's even silvered. But
You have a sword, don't you? Would that be good for you?
yeah, I have a scimitar. Um, Selena said the same thing, but I wanted to ask everyone else to make sure that no one else had a better use for it. Because I mean, honestly, a lot of the time I can find myself very happy with my cannon.
Well, that's true. I will say, scimitar isn't innately magical. I think everybody else here has mostly magical things, and unless Lonin, you want to trade in for a sword, you seem kind of inclined towards ranged combat.
I prefer my bow and arrows, thank you very much. I can use a sword, but I don't prefer it.
Well, okay, I'll go ahead and wield it. Um, oh, another thing, as the two of you are also, um, Selena's mentioned that maybe perhaps one of you would like the Pearl of Power. If you have an extra space in your head for it.
I don't find myself running low on magical energy enough, so that might be better for uh, Zedri.
I can't. I'm happy to keep it in the bag if nobody's going to be using it, but I'm saving for something.
I'm a walking armory, so I can hold on to it, but I'm not going to really use it. Unless I really need to, but then I just take it from you. So I don't really need it now, until I do.
Question. Um, Alfred has given Kiesel a spell storing item. Would that be able to be refueled by the Pearl of Power since he is able to cast and concentrate on a spell?
That's hilarious.
The thoughts that I have. My mind is working 60 miles a minute.
I would say no,
Okay.
because you are basically casting the spell into the storage item.
Right.
So he's not. He's unleashing the spell you already cast into it. So
Okay. I
It's like a
was wondering
battery.
if he could. Well, that's the thing. I was wondering if he could hold it like a battery and like wireless chi charge it.
still no.
But that no, yeah, that makes sense.
Checks out.
All right. Yeah, Cedric, if you want to hold on to the pearl, okay, I'll drag it back to the party sheet.
Yeah. Zedri will take it. And then I just drag it onto my sheet?
Yeah.
Drag it onto your inventory.
Wow.
this works.
It just does it. Crazy. Yeah, Zedri is also updating his notebook with the changing of hands. And of course, he is denoting the fact that it was originally Alfred going to Selena's, went back to Alfred, and now it's going to the bag of holding.
Change log.
Your record keeping is very meticulous, Zedri. I'm impressed.
Well, I don't think anybody else is keeping a ledger of things. And for all of the adventuring that we've done, would have been nice if we maybe found one of these on some of the treasure hunts that we've done.
Oh no, I am very impressed by this.
Thank you.
Kiesel is like packing up his shit, and like we're kind of moving and walking in the aforementioned, previously established direction. Do you think it's possible? Backpack. That we could take. You said it was silver, right?
The short sword?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it's pretty short for a sword, but do you think we could smelt it and then kind of use the smelted down silver, and each of us put it on a weapon of our choosing. That way we can spread the silver in case of like lycanthropy. Just to get more of a equal utilitarian use out of it.
Not.
oh,
Oh, go ahead.
my thoughts are that the amount of silver on the weapon is probably not enough to melt down and then also handle and then forge onto multiple different weapons. It wouldn't necessarily carry the same weight.
Just an idea.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Silver, but I think that's a little much.
Roll an investigation.
Ooh. If you fail, I'm right.
I would also think excess smelting might mess with the magical properties, maybe?
Yeah, that's the first question, to see if the magic survives.
Would they assume the like
Stick
bonus
with your
to
answer,
hit would not survive?
Alfred.
If you could
Right,
find
maybe.
a crafter or a smithy that could go ahead and remake it the same quality, but I feel like you get diminishing returns whenever you do something like that. Metal can
Yeah,
only
you
be
might as-
smelted so many times.
You might as well just make a new silver weapon from scratch, or just get silver and add it to the weapon you have, and then you just have a bunch of silver weapons and a short sword.
Yes,
There
Kiesel,
you
if
go.
you want, we can pick up some silver when we're back in Six Bells. I'm sure it's plenty readily available for purchase. And
Also,
we
how...
can-
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say we can get
How
you all
many-
get it up.
How many werewolves have we met? Like, one?
They were the ones that we glossed over whenever we were back in Wickhall.
I mean,
Well, we don't think that was a
soft-
real. Don't think that was a real werewolf. We just saw the dire wolves in the forest.
I don't know how common werewolves are outside of Ishnar, but
And if we run across one, now we have at least one weapon.
I'm pretty sure our magic users could just go die and cast whatever and kill it. I think we might not have the biggest need for silver weapons.
they are still people.
Kiesel,
Yes.
what is your understanding of how we cast magic?
It's like you tap into the greater willpower of the soul juice when people die. And the more magic you do, the better you get at it, and the higher level energized things you can cast, which is why you get very tired after casting very elaborate spells.
No.
I was close, though.
Perhaps in a different dimension.
I mean,
I think it also depends, because I think all of us, we've found our magic has origins in different places.
Yeah, I mean, for instance, an Alfred will take out this giant tank of glowing liquid. This is where I store all this, I guess, what you would call magical juice that I use.
As we've
Definitely
been
not
walking,
radioactive.
Kiesel has been digging at the pot with his knife and eating whatever bits of insect meat have been left over. As Alfred shows him this mysterious green goo, he's gonna attempt to dip his food in it as like a dipping tray.
No,
It's a
no,
sealed- It's a sealed container. I mean, let me.
I thought it was open. I was
A
like,
can-
oh,
A canister.
honey mustard.
Please, not the salsa.
No.
Kiesel goes and goes, oh. Just goes back to eating whatever, like, chitinous meat.
You're kidding.
All right. Assuming you have
Right.
starting to make your way down as part of this walking and talking, like climbing down. Begin your descent from the mountain summit with a pretty good sense of ease. Mostly just not worrying about a dragon attacking you as you were climbing anymore. That's been dispensed with. No sign of the spiders since you got out of the cave. That's been dispensed with. A little bit of a sense of urgency for some of you more than others. Torsten and Jorfridir especially, kind of taking that wind at the back to extremes as to maybe moving down a little bit quicker. Not to leave anybody behind, but just as a matter of keeping the party going as you go. Harsh winds of the night have subsided and replaced by a pretty low-level breeze that still whistles as it goes around the mountains, but it's a little bit nicer trip down. Snow persists pretty light, not causing any issues with handholds, not causing any issues with footholds. Just stays enough there to obstruct the long-range vision and remind you of what Torsland is like. As you move downward, the terrain proves mostly manageable. Rocky ledges, a few icy patches, but you're able to navigate them with relative ease. The steepness of the mountain doesn't seem as daunting as it was going up. You pass the first couple hours pretty smoothly. Pretty comfortable trip down. Any further conversation as you're making your way down? Reminding you that it took a day to get up. It's going to take approximately a day to get down.
So, sorry, did we decide who gets the periaptic poison?
Nope.
Mm-mm.
After we walk and talk.
Yeah.
Does anyone want this amulet? Or I'll just give it to Zetri to put in the bag?
I think I might make the case for someone specific. I mean, I remember that whenever Xanathi would go on her musings about the Asaphist Monastery, though they worshipped Briora, they were very careful to go ahead and work with poisons. Nothing in so much as to fully poison somebody, but a little bit. I forget what they call it, maybe like inoculation or something like that. But if it's tied to any sort of Brioran worship, I think you should go to him. And Zetri will point at Jorfridir.
Who is Jorfridir?
So yeah,
Oh yeah, good question. You want to roll for it like we did last week? Anybody who wants to be Jorfridir, roll a d20.
I'll take a
D20.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's
Kiesel.
Kiesel.
Kiesel really wants it.
I think it was a 20 for me as well.
Yeah.
All right, Kiesel, you are now yourself and Brofridir.
I was also going to make the case that it goes to Jorfridir because I feel like he finds himself in more poisonous situations, especially after what happened in Ashmain, and this man likes to eat. And Jorfridir will just kind of slyly give a nod and just goes, "My iron stomach knows no bounds, and I would find great use of this pendant."
I was gonna agree that it's probably Jorfridir would probably be best for it.
For Kiesel, Jorfridir does have, at least in combat, some manner of resistance to poison.
But now he'll be completely immune.
Fair.
Wait, Alfred, you said this thing just, like, nullifies poison. Like, it just doesn't affect you anymore? You're just, like, drinking liquid?
While you wear it, poison, you could down an entire bottle of poison and it would have no effect on you.
I feel like that enchantment is very, poorly, crafted? Because then couldn't you technically just go ahead and get yourself poisoned and then throw on the necklace and then it just like nullifies it so that you're not poisoned?
Counterpoint,
Perhaps.
Yofordir, if you wear that, you'll never be able to get drunk again.
I feel like that's
On
an
second
abuse
thought,
of the enchantment, but
I suppose you could take it off when you want to drink.
as Yofredir, would I have understanding of the extensive use of poison in Torslin? Because people here are very upfront. I doubt you would find a very sneaky rogue willing to use poison here, right?
Not a whole lot of poisoning going on. I mean, there's substances that are poisonous, but like people actively trying to poison others, aside from one or two clans that use poisoned weapons, not a lot.
Poison and magic are seen as very cowardly for the lowest of lows in Torslin. We can store the amulet with Zedri until we get back to Six Bells and until we fight more cowardly foes.
But someone should wear it until then.
I mean, if the bag of holding is extended to my own person, just rocking all this stuff that nobody wants to use, and Zedri will gesture at the ring of holding that he has that he actually isn't attuned to, then I can just wear it in the meantime. Goodness knows I'd probably be most likely to get stepped by a poison dagger at night.
And then that would be good because you have the staff of healing, so you could heal other people. And not be
Wait,
worried
I
about
feel
being
like
poisoned.
we gotta analyze that last sentence you just said, Zedri.
Oh, no. I mean, I've been kidnapped before. What's new?
What?
Oh, yeah.
Loner will turn to Torsten. Sometimes they just say something like that and don't explain it, and I have to reckon with whatever has happened to them.
I sometimes forget that we have to explain things like that.
Honestly, any adventurer with their weight in gold and platinum is going to be kidnapped at least once. It's a badge of honor.
Well, I regret the fact that I'm numb to it now, though.
I can't say that I don't understand because I've also been kidnapped, but that's how y'all met me.
So you do understand.
No, I understand. It's just I don't expect y'all just to say, oh yeah, I've been kidnapped before, no big deal. Because it was a pretty big deal to me, being kidnapped and apparently my blood being taken by a mad scientist.
Well, it's only a big deal because it's one of the more recent tragedies to happen to you. There's going to be plenty more later. Then you'll forget about it.
I've had plenty of tragedies already, Kiesel. What the fuck are you talking about?
I think Torsten turns to look at Yofordir and is just like, are you sure I can convince you to stay at home? It seems like these people are only going to get you kidnapped.
I'm what's stopping them from being kidnapped, so I think I'm warranted to stay here.
To be fair, I think only Zedri has been kidnapped.
And Lonan just said that they had been kidnapped.
I mean,
Well, it was
from
before
our
I'd met them.
Oh.
It's actually that kidnapping that led me to meeting them.
Yeah, that's how we found her. Interesting coincidence.
Yofordir told me tales of what you had been up to. And there is a tendency sometimes when you're in your cups to embellish some of the stories. I feel like he has left a lot of things out.
From my limited experience with them, they don't need to embellish much.
I mean, I did meet you, and then immediately met a dragon and fought a dragon. So
there's a saying in cultures with literature that truth is stranger than fiction.
I don't know. heard some pretty wild stories in my time.
I've read some weird books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some folk tales from some places that get really weird.
Feels like we've been living one big folktale and chasing after boogeymen, so...
Who knows? Maybe one day they will tell weird tales about you. People won't believe.
Maybe.
We need somebody
Like for...
to write down our tales then.
Like a bard or a scribe?
Isn't that bard girl y'all? No.
No, she left.
I do believe that the function of a bard's vocation is to leave groups and then tell their tales elsewhere.
Oh, so you just, like, rent them?
I think they kind of find you when you get to a certain point. I'll take the necklace. And Zidri will just put his hand out.
I wanted to say, yeah, if no one else wants to wear it, I will also happily at least wear it for the time being.
I would wear it, but it doesn't go with this ring.
I mean,
It
once
actually,
again, I don't mind taking it if no one else wants it, but those two have already claimed it, so.
Wait. DM, it actually would coordinate with the ring, would it not?
Very much
Because there's
would coordinate
green
with that
stone.
ring.
Yeah, it's green stones.
Oh, he's just being modest. He's already taken one piece of jewelry that don't belong to him.
Kiesel, why don't you want to wear it?
I just don't want to be seen as a loot goblin. Not to be derogatory towards goblins, but I just don't want to be seen as like a loot goblin. I would happily take it, but if everyone else wants it more than me, then I'm not going to interject. Even though
Is
would.
Is this a game you people play when you find something? You all declare loudly that you don't want an item, but then you all secretly want the item. I'm very confused. We'd normally just whoever found it would get it, unless it was necessary for someone else.
No, usually no. It's usually not like this, actually.
Okay.
I mean, they let me take this armor and she'll point to the armor she's wearing. They let me take this without any question.
Because you needed it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Here's the deal. We can't cure poisons if we are poisoned, so I guess you could go based on that.
So you should have it.
Didrix had his hand out the entire time. He hasn't pulled back since everybody started inviting. Yes.
Right?
I'm moving it, y'all. I'm putting in my freaking inventory sheet. It's
Gone.
Man, as soon as you said as soon as you said the fine print said you might not be able to get drunk off this, Yoverdeer's interest just dropped like significantly.
I'm assuming Kiesel's did too.
Yeah. Kiesel might have interest in it in the future, but right now it's put it in the bag.
so that he can drink the
somebody
poison
else.
and give the poison to somebody else simultaneously would be okay.
That'd be really good.
Yeah.
That'd be really good for a drinking game.
Drinking competition.
Oh shit! Now, no, we just settled this.
Unfair advantage, performance enhancing magic items? No, we can't do that.
Oh no!
No, not Kiesel. No, please.
I mean, not Alfred. He's too above the bar.
But if you do want to use it in an inconceivable battle of wits with some iocane powder, I will fully endorse.
But you have to recognize the other person's a genius.
All right. Now that we have settled the necklace, you continue your descent. The light snowfall persists, and it begins to near midday as you pass through the shifting layers of cloud cover, and with it leaving behind what little warmth and clarity you were getting from the sun as you move into the cloudy sky, gray skies again. And thankfully, the air does grow easier to breathe, less thin the further down you get. The cold still lingers as you continue your descent. Who's leading the descent?
Imagine it be either Lonan or Torsten.
You tell me.
I'll let Lonan do it. This is more sure-footed.
Yeah. Go with that.
Alfred would also like to be up in the front area.
Okay. Cybil?
I think Yofri would be closer to.
Cybil
I
would
guess
be with
Selena's
Alfred.
Selena's head towards the back, then just most people are wanting to go towards the front.
Honestly, if Sybil's like not too heavy, like Torsten will just wear Cybil around around his neck.
I was trying to think if Alfred could do that. I wasn't sure.
I feel like
What's
Torsten
Alpha's
probably
strength
can.
score?
10.
Ah,
Torsten's is 20,
Yofri,
so hopefully.
Yofri probably could too.
She's been fed very many table scraps. I don't know if 20 pounds is enough.
You need the belt of Sybil's strength in order to actually carry. just for back support. It doesn't actually add to your strength. It's just a...
Yeah.
All right. Lonan, as you have designated yourself as being towards the front. Give me a perception check, and if Alfred, you're hanging out up front too, you can do the same.
Okay. Yeah.
Not an advantage deal. This is a roll for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Only a 19.
Only a 9.
Only.
Alfred is more focusing on making sure that he makes proper footholds and not slip and fall all the way down the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Lonan a little bit better able to just passively be keeping tabs on things with her plus 10. But Lonan, you notice at the edge of your vision a small pack of huskies again. As they move along the mountainside, good probably 100 feet away from where you're at, a little ways down and off, not in your direct path. As they seem to navigate the terrain with pretty good ease as they're moving about gracefully, sure-footed on the rocky slopes.
Okay.
But the thing you really take notice of it is they're leaving a path, a descent path that could be easily be followed.
That's what I was gonna actually ask about, if Lonan could kind of make the group's way to like follow in their kind of path. Because if they're able to do so easily, then that should also be a working descent path.
Yeah, feel like you can make your way over there pretty easily. So is Cybil being backpacked? Did we resolve that?
Yeah.
All right, Torsten, you got Cybil like kind of whining over your shoulder a little bit, watching the dogs off in the distance.
Torsten has kids. He can just tune out.
Alfred will take
Real.
out a little treat to feed Cybil and try and shush her.
The Huskies don't seem to pay any attention to you, don't seem to really notice your presence as they continue their steady journey down the slopes, leaving behind a good path and providing you with a new course to follow. So you continue your descent without really any issue. And as you start to follow their path, things get even easier. Still light snow falling, but you're able to follow the Husky path pretty easily. They're long gone at this, they ditch off into the distance. You're able to keep following the path, but you can't see them. But eventually you hit a bit of a crossing as you find a fresh set of different tracks. marking the ground. Looks more like hoof prints. They head off in a different direction, but again appear to be fairly easy to follow path.
Are there any other prints accompanying the hoof prints, or is it just...
No. They're very small. This isn't like size of a horse hoof print. This is much smaller. And no, there's just the hoof prints going through further spaced apart than the husky prints and less of them.
Orsten, do you know what sort of prints these would be?
I'll take a look.
Give me a nature or a survival.
That's good. Both things I should be technically able to do.
For Yofordir, do you know?
We need nat 20.
Nice.
That's all you need.
Nice!
Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Pretty confident that based off where you're at, being on the mountainside, best guess would be it's probably reindeer.
Like, go down, just like, look at them and just be like, reindeer.
Yeah.
And a slightly longer stride than the regular deer, and they larger hoof, so they leave the it's slightly deeper in than you see from another animal you see on the mountain. Also, you see there's no sort of extra marks from like losing their step, so they're very sure-footed on here.
What an interesting word, a reindeer.
Snow deer would be more accurate, but I don't make the names.
All right. Do you follow the husky prints or do you follow the reindeer prints?
I mean, we're trying to get down the mountain, kind of in
They're
a
both going down. They're just like,
Okay.
they crisscross and go one to the east, one to the west. It's still
Yeah.
on
So
the
this
descent
village is
path.
more towards the east or more towards the west?
Yeah.
The reindeer tracks seem to be leading more towards where the path you came up.
Okay, yeah. Then we'll head that way.
Okay. Continue your descent following the reindeer tracks.
Unless anyone objects to...
No.
Okay.
So you'll like pat Yofordir on the shoulder, his big high shoulder, and just say, if we do end up running into any animals, you know, between the both of us, we can probably talk them into helping us.
Both sets of animals should have pretty good sense of direction, so if we do get lost, might have a way out.
Alright, as you enter the final leg of your descent, light starting to dim a little bit as you hit the late afternoon hours. Snow lightens a little bit, air feels a little bit less biting, and the terrain starts to level out a little bit as you become a little bit gentler, free of obstacles, no further complications as you move steadily downward and are able to pick up the pace a little bit, move it a little bit less of a climb and more of a trot at this point. And as you near the bottom, you pick out the silhouette of the mine entrance where you spent the night. Not last night, but the night before. And the subtle glow of Bjorn's flute off in the distance as they have illuminated the village for the night.
Alright, well, I guess we're making home here again.
And probably wanting to sit down and make our plan for tomorrow.
Of getting in contact with Navarra? I know it's kind of a weird question, but
I mean, we haven't seen her.
I saw what might have been her in the early morning, but
I mean, maybe she'll come and visit soon? But probably best to make our plan, assuming she ain't helping us. And then if she does, well, that just makes it all better for us, don't it?
Should we plan to make sure, even if she shows up, and is there a possibility of her being hostile? Now that we've done what she wants?
I don't
maybe.
I don't think so. I mean, from what she said, she just wanted to be able to go back to living her life, and if these people have been disrupting that, she did offer to help us if we did get rid of Swarmira. I believe she did. Might be misremembering, but
Well, in any case, I guess in the morning we should probably scout out and see how many people there are and what their sort of defenses are. If they have any set up.
mm-hmm.
Do you think it's possible they could be waiting for that big fucking dragon that we killed, and its absence might have them in a panic? A little twitchy.
Maybe. We don't really know what their relationship is yet, though.
Hmm.
Why not? Yeah, might want to start early morning with a scouting party to see what the area at least looks like, so we can get a lay of the land.
Yeah, Kiesel, that's an interesting point about expecting a dragon. Um, what if we give them a dragon?
I'm gonna need you to elaborate there,
Like
Alfred.
we get our dragon friend to come and make a presence and have them become subservient to it.
Well, I don't even think that. I don't think that that is what they wish as well. But
Hmm.
we have quite dedicated magic users in our party. We could recreate the image of a dragon.
Could you control it like a puppet with the magic? Because if they expect it to do something or speak to them or bring them something, and it just kind of shows up and it starts flapping its wings and roaring, then
Well, I mean, I think that would be a matter of how much we can get away with in terms of theatrics. If they want fire, then we can give them fire. If they want wind, we can give them wind.
She was a wet dragon, so it'd be
Ice.
ice, I believe.
I'm a follower of Infernus.
I understand that, darling, but different types of dragons breathe different types of elements.
Oh, I'm aware. I'm more saying like, if whatever they expect, if we can figure that out, we can give them what they want.
But that's the issue, is figuring out is what they're expecting. I mean, like I've said, what's their relationship to, what was their relationship to Zormira?
well, we would have to spy on them or infiltrate them.
I have a possible solution. I feel like the best time to scout is probably while they're all sleeping, wouldn't you say?
I would agree with that one.
If everybody decided to go ahead and stay up for the night, and we forced our way through in the cover of night, I could alleviate whatever you might be feeling in terms of heaviness from not being able to get a full rest over the night.
Possibly.
I should note,
Yeah.
Kiesel technically has a level of exhaustion now anyway.
Ooh,
Yeah.
where did this come
he
from?
stayed up too late last night.
You kept on staying up.
No.
Yeah, you didn't get
Yeah.
enough
You didn't
rest.
get your
my guy.
6 hours of sleepy.
Oh no, man!
You
I
are
Thankfully,
basically-
there were some skill checks to descend the mountain, so you lucked out.
Would we want it to be everybody keeping an eye on, or just a couple to do the scouting?
Do we even know
I
where
am. I am not much of a
where this
scout.
camp is?
That's the
That's-
other thing.
That's what I was saying earlier. If we wanted to repeat what happened last night and have somebody fly up and take a look,
Well, has the snow subsided quite a bit, so perhaps I could get a look? Yeah, if it's not too much trouble, Alfred will go ahead and he'll do a little fly around the area to see if he can see anything besides the actual like city town.
Okay, how far out you want to go?
Let's say 10 minutes out and then 10 minutes back.
Okay. So
Not
you're doing out and then doing like a perimeter, or you're just doing out in a particular direction and coming back, like you said?
That is a good question. I think out and then arcing back. Perhaps it'll cost a little bit more time in the return trip.
Which, I mean, you got plenty of time on your boots to be able to fly for a while, so
Yeah.
that part won't be an issue.
No. All right.
Down towards the village, arc back up towards the mountains, come back to the mine.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take a little fly around with my boots. I should be back in about a half an hour. I'm just gonna go straight out, and I'll make an arc back to cover a little bit more area. If everyone's okay with that?
Just stay safe.
I always try. Don't always succeed, but I always try.
What kind of elevation we going for?
High enough that a person would think twice before throwing a javelin at me.
Okay. All right. You fly off. What is the remaining 6 party members doing as Alfred takes off and leaves you behind?
Salinas, if he's not too far to send a message, that way you could, well, communicate with him telepathically, to be some sort of, navigator on the ground, like a ground traffic controller or something? I don't know.
I'm sure this brings you great comfort, Kiesel, but you are never too far away for me to send a message to.
I think the day that I am, one of us would be 6 feet underground. And not in the Underdark, but dead.
I caught that the first time.
You know, it's strange that that is a common saying, considering for most of history, I think we burn our dead. Like, that's a pretty big tradition. Like, no one really buries their dead. Not in a long time, at least.
There's a lot of Daedus worshippers that bury their dead.
Really, I didn't know that.
Are there a lot of wind worshippers that leave their dead out in like the mountains and let the scraps get to them? You know, like vultures and birds and shit, like a burial in the sky.
You talking about Zephorin last rites?
100%, yes.
Okay. Yeah, that was a very unceremonious way of prompting that. Zidri is going to try to recall any last rites specifically for Zephora.
What's your piety rating with Sephora?
We don't. It's just.
It's not of anything of note.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope, it isn't.
Yeah,
It's single digits. Single digit.
All right.
It's one.
Just give me a religion check. If it was high enough, I'd give you advantage. So.
Oh, no. Just as much as the average guy.
Not where you're from.
Honestly, no. I haven't really met that many Zephora worshippers, truth be told.
Well, except him, and I'll kind of like give a nod to Jofridir.
In our time that we've spent with Jofridir, I have come to know the difference between a worship like Alfred's to Infernus, or my own, and Jofridir, and by extension Torsten, who seem to have an innate respect for their deities. I think Torsten brought me back to what that true worship feels like, that, and the relationship that he has with Briora seems quite strong.
Alfred. Sensing a lull in the conversation, we'll go to Alfred on his eye in the sky traffic report. You fly down towards the village. Minimal activity going on in the village. Torches are all burning, keeping things alit. You get a pretty good sight of seeing that there are a few buildings that are worse for wear after your unceremonious exit. Or maybe ceremonious exit, I guess that's how you want to look at it. But nobody really seems to take notice of you. You find your way to the path that Zedri had pointed out as being the path that led off to the east. Kind of just tack along that road. It's very hard to see the road. Everything's pretty covered in snow, but there is just a slight little depression that once you pick up on it from the fork in the road, you just kind of keep your eyes on it. It does limit what else you can really pick up passively, so it's basically what you're looking at is what you see. So give me a perception check.
Okay.
All right, with an 18,
Decent.
you're able to keep pretty good tabs on where you think this trail is, but this trail continues to lead well past where you decide you need to be turning back to meet your expected arrival date. That arrival time that you had passed along to the party of being back in about a half an hour. You feel like you're probably at the extent of that and need to come back, and this path leads up into the hills east of Bjorn's Flute and continues on to the east much further beyond your line of sight.
It's over the hill, correct?
It continues up through the hills, yes.
Through the hills. Okay. Alfred might go another 5 minutes.
Okay.
To see if he can get any further. But after that, he'll probably turn back. As long as it continues to like show, if he gets to a point where it shows that like there's definitely something here, and it's not just like a hunting path or a something innocuous, such as that.
Based off the amount of differentiation you can see in the level of where the snow sits in the path versus outside of the path, I guess give me an investigation. Use that noggin of yours.
Ah, yes.
Yes, with 22, this is not like some game trail. This is not some minorly used path. This is a pretty consistently used path that has been pretty well excavated. That you have the rolling hills and then just a divot, little canal cut out in the middle of it. It just seems to continue on up into the hills. You go a bit further, and it just seems to continue on further to the east as it kind of hugs the mountain line down on the smooth hill terrain. It's not getting into the rocky outcropping portions, but it seems to consistently just like moving along the mountains. Don't see any where it leads. It just continues to lead east.
And no activity along the path.
No. Other than the movement of snow. I would say you would probably spot one creature. An Ispiorn or ice bear.
Oh.
Moving across. No rider or anything like that. Just a polar bear, basically, moving across the snowy landscape. Doesn't pay you any mind.
You know, Alfred will actually continue to keep going.
Okay.
He'll continue to go into the mountains.
So as
Has it been
Or into the hills.
Alfred
10
continues
minutes?
to go, you've now passed the point where you guys were expecting him back, and he has not returned.
About this time, Salinas will get out his book and write a little message. Alfred, are you still alive? Just wanted to make sure that you are all right. You are not back.
Still alive, found path leading east to hills. Don't fall down.
Alright, well, it looks like he may have found some sort of path. He wants us to not fall.
Easy enough.
Alright, I guess Alfred will continue going.
For the sake of brevity, the more you travel, it just continues to go and go and go. You will likely be at this for... There doesn't seem to be any end in sight. This is not something that you're going to be able to... You have nothing to tell you that you are likely going to reach any sort of a destination before your boots run out of fuel.
It will have me go more than 4 hours, then yes, Alfred will definitely turn back before then. Perhaps another 15-20 minutes of mindlessly going along this path before he gives up. And I guess it would be like an hour and change before he gets back to the party, or an hour and a half.
I think that's fair. Any further messages during that space?
Yeah, maybe in another like 20 minutes or so, just one more just a general check-in, making sure that he's still okay.
Yeah, you'd get like, depending on how annoyed he is, just keeps going. Don't know where it's heading to. Almost want to come back, or depending on if he's already back or on his way back, just saying.
He said
It's
about
hard
20
to-
minutes. I'd say you haven't gotten to the return point yet.
Okay. Why does it keep going?
Would it be possible for Zedri to pull us at Kiesel? This is the base of the mine where the cabin was, correct? Like the
Yeah, there's a
rundown cabin?
little, like an office or little makeshift building.
Okay. Zedri will go ahead and tell the group. I do have a slight bit of the Magarolta jerky remaining. I can go ahead and prep that for whenever Alfred returns. That way we can have something of substance before we have to tackle in the morning.
Kiesel, who has been so ravenously hungry his head was hurting, has already been kind of snacking on whatever food he had in his pack. That sounds like a wonderful idea. And if we have any of that insect meat, I don't care how gross it is, we can cook some more of that up too.
Right. Do you want to help me prep some of the other foodstuffs?
I would be delighted. Oh, I'm fucking hungry.
Zedri will go ahead and head off into the cabin space with Kiesel then.
Okay.
Kiesel gets out his tin pot.
Put that away, Kiesel.
What?
This isn't actually about food. I mean, yes, I admittedly do have, and he'll produce the Magarolta jerky. And you can snack on one if you want to. But, what you talked with me about last night? Is this uncharacteristically Alfred? The fact that he's going out past the bounds? I feel like an inventor's curiosity is pretty within the vein.
I would tend to agree on that. The thing that you have to pay attention to is the greediness. That's what I caught onto. I would say that this would fit very well into the personality type of the inventive curiosity. If there's something that's quizzling his brain. But at the same time, he would have came back, would he not?
That's
And
what I was
gone,
thinking.
Hey guys, there's something weird bothering me about the path laid ahead. Maybe we should check it out as a group, rather than having the ambition, not to call him unambitious. But I don't know if this would have raised a red flag if I didn't have any prior suspicions, to be honest.
Right. I just feel like there's a lot to be suspicious of.
Oh, of course, you catch a child stealing from an apple stall, and you're going to question where every bits of food that it got its hands on came from ever since, you know?
Right. And any purported lack of thoughtfulness on Alfred's part makes me call into question what's going on.
The time to ensnare him, that's too negative, but the time to spring up on this suspicion will come soon enough. Just have to keep a watchful eye.
Right.
But I am touched, Zedri, that you did take my qualms from the night prior seriously.
I'm honestly surprised you're the one that stayed up all night. I thought I was going to have to be that person. But that's honestly why I took an earlier watch, just because I knew if I went ahead and took an earlier watch, then I'd actually be able to go ahead and lay down. I have a little bit of closure there, but it just reopened in the morning.
A slight exhaustion here, there's nothing unusual to me, but better me than any of our spellcasters.
Do you need me to alleviate the exhaustion that you're feeling?
If I were
Not to
to
sleep.
break, If I were to break out into a fight with somebody, I could hold my own. If you asked me to jump a cavern 30 feet wide, I think I'd fail. But given the fact that we're about to sleep, I think we should be good. If it's all the better, I think I would either want to take the first watch, or if anybody else wants to in my place, I could just go straight to bed.
Okay. When it comes down to resources, I think my capacity to go ahead and channel one more destructive spell is not worth you at your full ability. That's why I put it out there, just in case we're assailed by something. They used to say that giant chitinous crabs don't come out of the caves, coming after us at night.
Oh, Zedri, now you're talking about sweet dreams. If we only have a big enough pot to boil those crabs in, now we're really talking.
I don't know that mineral-based organisms like that, cave crabs specifically, would be as enjoyable as those that are found by the sea. But as you already know, I do not have an inclination towards any sort of seafood, so I'd like to stay away from that talk if possible.
Well, of course. You know, once we're back to Six Bells, there's plenty of. I mean, it's an island. I've perused around many restaurants and seafood balls I could take you to.
I don't think that you're going to be able to overcome the fact that I haven't liked it.
Oh. Well, if you ever have an open mind and decide to give it another shot, I won't hold it against you if you don't like it.
Right. My open mind is consumed by thoughts that something might be wrong with Alfred.
Let's not keep the mind too open. Yes. You know.
But, yeah, you can go ahead and have this part of the jerky, and Zedri will apportion it out. And then I'm going to go and give the rest of this to everybody else. And probably pop some more good berries. Thank you, though.
Thank you. As Kiesel chokes down this piece of dry jerky.
Crazy man. Yeah. Zedri will return to the others with a fan of jerky in his hand. I have a total of 2 preserved Magarovda rations that was cooked with Aliona and Gela. So probably a reasonable amount to be able to share with most folks, I would assume. That's probably not just 2 strips of jerky, right?
It's 2 days worth.
Yeah.
Is what the ration counts are. So I would say that's probably enough for everybody for any.
Cool. Then
Yeah.
Zedri will offer that
Yeah.
to everybody willing.
As Zedri returns, Lonan's kind of in the middle, kind of like partially talking out loud. Yeah, actually, because if we're about to save a bunch of people and travel all the way back to your home, we're probably going to need to do some hunting so we have enough stores of food left. I guess, if you said there's reindeer, that's probably good eating. But I don't want to waste any arrows before we have to fight a colt. So I guess afterwards, let you guys reunite and rest, and then get some food in order for that journey.
Reindeer is good eating. So you can follow them.
Following wild animals ain't gonna be much of an issue for me.
Even here.
No.
It's impressive.
I actually did some hunting not too long ago out here too.
What did you get?
Mostly squirrels and rabbits.
Not the best game, but game all the same.
Game recognizes game.
You know, we call those all reliable. As in, when you got nothing left, squirrels, rabbits, and rats makes for some good skewer eating. Which, to ask you, what do you eat in the Underdark? What is there to hunt and to kill and to sustain off of?
Oh, there's plenty of critters down there.
Do tell, I'm drooling.
Well, obviously lots of mushrooms and kind of moss type things. Plants that would be considered like lichen or moss or mushrooms are the big thing. Um, there's I don't know what the common term for it is, but there are these kind of like rock crabs. They're kind of tough, but honestly, you get used to them after a while.
You know,
There's
believe it or not, there's crabs in the oceans too that are very tasty.
I'm aware. There's also I'm checking my my lore doc for a specific thing that I'm trying to find. There's also Wen's eggs. They're kind of like uh they're kind of similar to like pigs or cows. I guess we're similar to cows. We get milk from them as well as we can butcher them. They're pretty tasty.
Do you grow wheat in the Underdark?
No, but there is a trying to think of how to explain this. There is a lichen that is somewhat not exactly similar, but you can grind it and it makes a kind of gritty type of bread. Not the best, but it is really good with cheese. I will say that.
Or if you put under the pressure with some hot oil, it probably makes a good enough fry skin.
Hmm. No, oil is another big thing because there's a lot of things that can make kind of wax and oils and stuff. Um, There's uh you would enjoy Yofredir. The mushroom one, great. Um
As long as it gets you drunk and where you need to go, oh, I don't care what
and
it's made out of.
there's plenty of they're not the best eaten, but there is fish that are in the cave system's waters. They're not the best. Like the ones you get from above the ground are a lot better, but they suffice, especially if you're on a long journey. We do learn how to use parts of different monsters and creatures you find down there. The meat can be honestly pretty good if prepared correctly.
A monster in a cave or a dungeon is no different from a deer or a reindeer in the forest. So long as you use every bit and you know how to use it.
There's definitely certain ones you don't want to eat, but most of them, I mean, don't want to waste it.
Oh, please, with this poison amulet, we can all go round for round and see what tastes good. And what doesn't down there?
I've definitely had to convince some above folk about that. Yes, eating this won't kill you, and it's actually pretty good.
On that note, you hear the flutter of winged boots as Alfred returns.
Ooh. Oh my god. Or oh my infernus. I
He was non-denominational. It's not him.
Damn it. I was so good.
Pantheon
so long.
Reformation.
I was so good. I can't believe that path kept on going and going and going and going and going and going and going. It just never ends. I quit.
Well, presumably it has an end at some point.
Well, I'm not finding it tonight. Let me just put it that way.
That is fair.
Do you, where you were at the apex of your travels, do you think that's something we can do by foot in a day?
Oh yeah. I mean, I can only fly as fast as I walk, so I'm sure that we could cover the distance.
Oh,
I
we
mean,
could cover that distance tenfold then.
yeah, I was only gone for about what, an hour and a half. So yeah, not terrible. I mean, granted, that is how I flew there, but excuse me, I don't think that walking would be much more.
Sure.
I mean, do you fly about as fast as you walk?
Yeah, but I don't necessarily need to like take all the turns if I'm flying.
Fair enough.
Well, okay. Do we? I guess that's not going to really help our plan of attack.
Well, it's fine. DM, just really quick, is eastward the direction that Navarra pointed us towards the previously?
Yeah.
Okay. It is fine. We will take care of it tomorrow.
Maybe Navarra will visit and she'll give us some more information.
Would be nice.
Still feel like we need. I mean, it's gonna be a while till we get there. So we have plenty of time to plan. I think we want to go ahead and say that, like, if we start seeing signs of other people, we probably want to quickly get out of sight just in case. Would be my assumption.
Sure.
Are all the horses still home?
Surprisingly, yes.
Nice.
And the broken, the not the
Dog
best
sled.
shaped sled. You guys have to remind me, how many horses did we have? Was it 4 or was it 3?
Let me
Say three.
consult.
Yeah, Zed.
I was
Three.
looking
Three?
at you when I asked the question.
Everybody was.
We had as many as we needed in the time when we needed them.
Remember that Lonan was on the sled for that.
I think we only had 3. If I
Yeah.
want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's 3. It was Alfred and Selena, Cedric and Kiesel, and then Yofredir. With Lonan and Cybil on the sled.
All right. So you set up camp near the abandoned mine. Some of you a little bit more wearier than others because of late night activity. Reunite the whole party after Alfred's little sojourn. And find shelter and feel fairly well assured that there is nothing lying in wait inside the mine or in the immediate vicinity that poses a threat. Also, no sign of Navarra or that she's been here recently. But you have an opportunity to take a long rest. But with any long rest, usually not a bad idea to have somebody keeping watch. So, I'm sure you guys all thought about it on the little moment away. So you all know exactly what your night watch order is going to be, right? Right.
I mean,
Who's
I'll
on
either
first?
I'll take either first or second.
I can go first.
I'll take second.
Alfred on.
Yeah, I
third.
don't think you two take watches together anymore.
You know,
We
Alfred will go
could.
first.
No.
Alfred will go on first.
Where's Alfred going?
Yeah, I think I just want to knock a watch out at the beginning, and then I'll go to bed.
I
I'll
think
do I'll do the last one.
I think I'm actually going to defer on watch, if that's fine with everybody. I am sleepy.
Kiesel, your eyes are already closed.
It's just thinking about food just made me so exhausted.
All right. Between Alfred, Yofredir, and Salinas, who's got third watch?
I think Alfred's taking first with Cedric. Right?
Yeah, Alfred wanted to be on first.
Okay. So, Salinas and Yofredir wrestle for it?
For dear.
No?
Yeah,
For dear
it
can
can
take third watch.
Yeah, it can go to Yofredir. This is his natural environment, so.
Salinas will just sleep then, because he either takes first or last watch. He doesn't do any of those middle watches.
It's
First
hard
is
enough
already
to make-
doubled up on, and you already had your heart to heart with Torsten last night. Let's not repeat. We don't need to repeat that again. Too
Isn't
much
last also
emotional
doubled
trauma.
up on?
Mm-mm.
Was someone else just sleeping through the night then?
Your buddy.
Kiesel.
Oh, okay.
You guys from the eastern side of the ocean. All right, so I got Alfred Zedri first, Lonan second, Yofdir third, Torsten fourth. Correct? Alrighty. Alfred and Zedri, why don't you make a perception check with advantage?
You can.
You want it? Okay.
I think you have a better perception anyway. Yeah.
All right. As your first watch begins, feel the cold settling in a little bit deeper outside. I don't know if you're taking watch inside the hut or outside the hut. Guess we should clarify that first.
I guess I'll sit out. It's not terribly cold out, right? It's just slightly snowing. I don't know. I'm still in the
Slightly
outer
snowing,
voice.
but it's cold. It's cold.
Cold.
There's a mine too as a shelter point too. So
Alfred will repeat the sitting at the entrance of the mine.
okay. Zedri as well then.
Yeah, Zedri will join.
As that cold settles in, the snow falling, pretty steady rhythm, pretty minimal. Quiet of the night is fairly unbroken. Occasional gust of wind whispering through the abandoned structures outside. And you are able to take in the lights of Bjorn's flute remain visible despite the distance and the snowfall. Just basically an orange glow on the horizon. Any activities or conversations during your watch?
So yeah, I went through that path and then it went around that mountain over there, and then it just kept on going and going and hugging the mountain path. But I don't know where it's gonna lead off to.
You ended up going by Bjorn's flute?
Yeah, I passed by, but I'm fairly certain they didn't see me. I think I was far enough away that I only saw basically glows of their torches.
Did it seem like they started rebuilding?
Parts. Not entirely. Where we exited and there was the fire, yeah, that was still quite burnt.
Yeah, I don't think that was our finest work, but I can't say that I probably wouldn't be mad if I was in Torsten's shoes. So, I guess it makes sense.
No, yeah, it does make sense. But I kind of frustrated. Like I don't know what we're gonna be doing, I guess.
Well, I think that you've always been our anchor when it comes to keeping our sanity and things like this. It's super easy to spiral downwards. I mean, I would say I'm probably the exemplification of that. But you normally do a good job of keeping your head on your shoulders. So,
I mean,
things are getting to you?
perhaps, but Cedric, I always thought of you as, I mean, perhaps outside of one instance, you're quite level-headed. You think things through. You're smart. I don't think that I'm any more of a stone face than anyone else in this party, I guess.
Well, Yofredy might have you beat on the stone face a little bit.
Okay, fair. But yeah, sometimes barring like Salinas or Kiesel, I feel like I'm quite hot-headed.
I wouldn't say that about you. I think it's very out of character for you to act hot-headed.
Maybe. I mean, maybe I guess I just process it differently.
That seems really genuine.
I mean, I've always been genuine with you.
Yep, I guess so. Sorry, I just sat on a rock. And Zidri's gonna scoot himself over a slight bit.
Are you okay?
Yep. I just... Maybe I'm feeling... not upset by this whole thing, but honestly, my mind's just been racing about all of the stuff that's been going on. And so this is honestly one of the first times where we've been able to take a breath between things. Even before we went down into Bjorn's flute, I mean, everybody went off in 3 different directions, albeit partially of my own accord for yelling at Yofredy. Digil turn away, just like into the cave, and just like 100-yard gaze off into it.
I'm sorry. My mind literally just like went blank. Can you give me that again?
Yeah.
I think my train of thought just died.
Let me get you back on a track.
Sorry.
No. Zedri said, I feel like this is the first time that we've actually been able to rest and reset between something.
Right.
I mean, even whenever we were outside of Bjorn's flute, that ended in all 3, in us heading off in 3 different directions, albeit partially because I yelled at Yofredy.
Right. Well, maybe that's it, Zedri, is I don't know how to act when we have this moment. We've been going and going for so long that how do I stop, I guess?
She's just gonna turn back to the cave and stare at Alfred. Is he relaxed as he says this? Or is he tense?
Alfred is staring like down at the like not at the ground, but at like a 30-degree angle where he's not looking up or down. He's just looking down-ish, and he's quite tense. Like, do you even know what should I be doing now? Like, there's nothing to do, and maybe not having things going on kind of scares me as to not having something to focus on.
Yep. I think the moment that things slow down, we start to go ahead and deal with the existential issues that stick out of every single corner of what we've done. But, we're not finished here in Torsland. I mean, we still have to deal with whatever's beyond that path that you started flying towards. And it seems like we're going to have at least a few hours of travel, if not a whole nother day, or maybe even more.
Yeah, but you're right. You're right. We can look forward to that. We can prepare more, and things will be okay.
I don't mean look forward dotingly. I'm not looking forward to confronting a cult. And I mean, honestly, we don't even really know what we're going up against. We just know that
No.
they were operating underneath the dragon. And honestly, if they were a full-fledged cult, I feel like they might have been more on par with the dragon than we're giving them credit for. So maybe they will be a hassle to have to handle. We might not be able to talk our way out of things, especially if they have a whole hostage situation going on.
Well, no. With the cults, I'd assumed that they are not open to negotiation. I I think that they're quite lost. I'd love to be proven wrong, but most people prove me right.
No, I'm sure Salinas would love to try to talk through things amicably.
We should prepare for the worst. I honestly think it would be harder than fighting the dragon if they are as prepared as we might think they are. Having so many different fronts to confront might prove one of our greatest challenges yet.
I mean, things went smashingly against the spiders.
Right, but they're also not intelligent. Imagine anyone with any combat experience or a general of an army might take us apart as we just run headlong into our death.
Have you ever spoken with an animal before, Alfred?
I. Alfred will look up and then look out towards the snow. I don't think I have. What what's it like?
Well, I mean, even though it's just base desire sometimes, it's it's quite enlightening to have a conversation with one. I mean, getting to talk with Cybil, for example. There's a lot of thoughts that she has, and I know that I've translated a conversation between you and her before, but you didn't get to have it firsthand.
No. I don't know what she sounds like. Do you hear a different voice or
Um,
oh, I don't understand how that works.
Sometimes I
She
do.
barks? Oh.
But the point of it is, if you were able to talk with animals, I think that you would quickly find that they shouldn't be discounted on their ability for complex thought. Some of them even have an intelligence beyond our own, and maybe we're so high minded that we try to delude ourselves that they couldn't possibly be up to par with us. The spiders was probably a very good equivalent, I suppose, to what we could be facing. But imagine that there's something that you left down at the base of the mountain. That's what we're going up against. The barrier.
I think I understand. Hmm. I think I would like to speak with Sybil sometime.
Well, I can go ahead and see about getting a scroll drawn up. Or maybe I could go ahead and visit an alchemist. I have a potion of animal friendship, which isn't necessarily the same thing, but the ability to speak to animals, you could do something like that.
Yeah, I'll take a look into that.
Okay.
Can I speak with animals?
Is that in your spell list?
No.
Womp womp.
But that's not necessarily the highest priority. We can work on that when we get back to maybe 6 spells, or
Sure. Something else to go ahead and add on to the to-do list so that we don't get caught up in the, as I said earlier, existential splinters.
Right. You can put it right after we finish the basement.
Is that just going to smile? And then he is going to throw his face into his hands and just start rubbing his temples.
I've said something again, haven't I?
No, it's just there's sometimes to do things that are just a slight bit odd, because I feel like after all this time I know you pretty well. Take some course of action and mention something offhandedly that throws me for a loop. But it's conversations like these that remind me that it is you.
It is me?
Yes. I mean, talking about conversations with animals to be had after building a basement, even though we are in the coldest place that I have ever visited before, and we are probably up against insurmountable odds, but I could have said yesterday that we were up against insurmountable odds because we slayed a dragon. Well, Torsten,
I
Kiesel,
can't
and
believe we
Jofridi slayed
did
the
that.
dragon.
You are correct. You are correct on that. I can't believe it happened, though.
Neither
But-
can I.
You're right. Every day seems to be insurmountable odds with this group.
Can I give you a hug?
Of course.
Citra will pick himself up, and he is going to, if Alfred does not get up, like reach down and grab him into a hug.
As he sees Zedri get up, he'll stand up as well.
Zedri has given Alfred hugs before. Does this feel the same as those other ones?
Roll for hugs.
Sleight of hand,
I
does he rub me in the
suppose?
small of my back? I need to know. Insight, you said?
Yep.
Okay.
And I guess Alfred roll deception persuasion in the tower.
I'm using my inspo. This is so important. I won't
Is
sleep.
a sleight of hand?
Oh, it's
Oh,
worse.
whoa, where
Okay.
are those hands being slighted, buddies?
The 17, it's fine.
AJ, I have inspiration for this. For this, feel free.
Okay. Y'all, you mess with my mind so much, and this isn't even like an encounter or anything. Nope, it's worse.
No.
Okay. It's fine.
Steady spiral down. All right, so started with a mighty 17, rolled it down to a 12, rolled it down to an 11. It's familiar. It's mostly what you expect. Things are a little bit off. but very minimally. You can't place exactly whether it's what you're fearing or what you're attempting to intuit as to is this Alfred or not, or is it the circumstances and the situation compared to prior interactions with him. But there's a subtle offness to it.
Such a myself roll a damn wisdom save to see if I delude myself to believe this. Okay, everything's sub 10 over here. Okay. Zidri will collect himself. So far, he has a mental T chart of everything that could be off with Alfred and everything that could be up with Alfred, and this hug is just in the middle. It's just straddling the line, and he's okay with that.
The Venn diagram.
Yeah, honestly. But Zedri will still maintain the most authentic hug that he can, and probably overcompensate for slight differences by making sure to recall the last time that he gave Alfred a hug and do it in the exact same way.
This is how you remind me of how I really am. Licensed music.
It's okay. You didn't say enough for it to count against us as a strike.
Yeah, I don't think it was 15 seconds.
Zedri will pull back from the hug, though, clap his hands, which probably echoes through the cave, and say, well, now that we're done with all of that, we do have a proper watch that we need to run.
Well, yeah, we'll continue to sit out here, but do you feel okay?
Yes.
Well, good, I'm glad.
God, I wish I had mine on hand.
Thanks, you too. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. Telling the server to enjoy their meal as well.
I've done that recently.
Oh, no! Yeah. Zedri, luckily, the redness of the biting cold, kind of like hitting into his face, has given him enough rosiness to cover up any blush that he might have for how embarrassed he is that this could all be a wash. But yeah, he's gonna finish the watch with Alfred.
It's a pretty quiet watch.
Who knows at this point?
You turn around, the party's being ravaged by wild animals.
Yeah, there's fires everywhere, body parts.
2 dragons just eating us.
Everything passes pretty quietly. Towards the end of your 2-hour watch, you notice that the snowfall has picked up a little bit, thickened slightly, but nothing stirs out in the darkness. Just the stillness of the Torslin night and the stillness of our hearts. Second watch is loaded. Unless you have anything further before you pass the torch.
I think so. Alfred will go and wake Colin up.
Thanks. Everything alright?
Yeah, it's pretty quiet out there, but the snow's picked up a little. I'm
Doesn't
gonna
bode
go.
well, but y'all get some rest.
Be safe out there.
We always try to do. alone and all. Step out of. She'll step out to the edge of the cave and kind of wait a little bit until she's like pretty sure the two of them have settled and gone to sleep.
Okay.
Before she kind of. She's still gonna try and keep within eyesight of the cave, but she's gonna kind of trek a little ways away from it. Kind of under the cover of night. Just gonna kneel down in the snow. Take a deep breath and say, Noctalis, Lord of Shadows, Keeper of all that is lost. I don't know if you listen to me, of all people. I hope you do, but all I ask is for guidance. As it seems, after the thing with Vab and Sangloot, and whatever this dreamer is, and whatever we've been learning from this, that things long gone are shifting again. And I don't know what that means. I'm just a housewife. But I put myself, my safety, my life, my blood, everything you've made me to be in your hands and in your guidance. I choose to believe you put me on this path for a reason, and I hope that means that Arlo will be safe, and Nadia will be safe. And it brushes away a tear. I would not exist. My people would not exist if not for you. And I can only guess at why you created vampires in the first place. But I hope for whatever reason that you did, I am making your legacy something to be proud of. She'll kind of just sit in the dark again for a few minutes, just kind of taking in the night sky and the cold before she goes back and kind of sits at the entrance of the cave and does the rest of her watch.
As you take your watch, midnight settling in over your small little encampment. Still silence, broken only by the increasing howl of the wind. Almost there's a certain part of you that kind of senses a response, even though Noctalis is not really associated with weather. It's just that searching for meaning in things, searching for connections in things, that you notice that the snow picks up, the howl of the wind is a little bit louder as you conclude your prayer, and the distant lights of Bjorn's flute are now shrouded behind the snow. Lose sight of them as the cold bites in a little bit deeper and the night stretches on, as the snowstorm around you seems to intensify more and more over the course of your watch. Snow falling now in thick sheets, swirling violently in the strong wind. And in the distance to the east, you notice faint flashes of light flickering in the clouds and snow. Brief, fleeting, it's like distant lightning, but no thunder ever comes. Pass the rest of your watch as the storm continues to roar, snow continues to pile up. By the time your watch ends, there's about a half a foot to almost a foot of snow has fallen. It's piling up at the sides of the hut. Really, your only semblance of knowing that the hut is there from the outside is piles of snow against nothing. But eventually your watch comes to an end, and the third watch is Yoferdu.
Yeah, she'll go wake him up and get the rest of her night's sleep.
Yoferdu, give me a perception check. Oh, you probably need a sheet for that.
I was just looking and clicking.
I think Alfred still has it. Dustin has it. There we go.
Give it
Right.
back. It's mine.
You
No, it's
lost that
mine.
one. Alright, it should be cleared. As you're rolling your perception check.
It is not letting me take control. I roll a d20. What's his perception? What's his plus?
Perception +5.
I cast dice. Yeah.
Okay. You take up watch. Storm begins to wane. The snowfall eases, tapering off into a light drifting, dusting. The howling wind settles down into a much quieter whisper. You start to see the Lightsbjorn's flute return to your vision. Just as a subtle glow, you can't see much beyond that. It's honestly one of the few things you can see out in the night. Here in the dark, with no dark vision, but
Somehow,
night remains quiet.
despite the lack of night vision, I feel like this would be almost comforting for Yoferdu, who for so long has been away from home, and now it feels like we're coming to the apex of this story here. Maybe even enjoying the last couple nights he has of it. Slinging his axe and kind of propping it up against a tree, axe part down into the snow, where he kind of rests on it in between the tree, giving it some space where he can almost kind of lean up on it as he's just watching ever so carefully and thinking about his family very stoically. One who we've already saved, coming back home to Aliona and thinking about the next time he can get a good buzz going on.
Don't wear that neck.
No. Yoferdir reads the fine prints on his magic items.
Quiet hours of the night pass with little disturbance, snow drifting gently from the dark sky, settling in soft layers upon the already thick blanket covering the ground. Faint breeze stirring the frost-laden air, carrying with it the distant scent of pine and cold stone. Fairly comforting in this current mindset for Yoferdir. But outside of Yoferdir's viewpoint, as he leans up against a tree, Torsten, inside the hut, begins to shift in his sleep, his brow furrowing as caught in the grasp of an unsettling dream. I need everybody else to Jeffin as our guest gets a
Yeah.
dream sequence.
Oh, man.
Ooh.
Get your wife back, boy.
That'd be getting the wife.
Are we all good? All right. Gotta find dreamy music. Well, not really dreamy. A dreamy sound set. Horston. Stand tall at the helm of a familiar ship. Salty chill of the icy sea brushing against your face as you gaze out over the endless expanse before you. Ship gliding smoothly across the water. Rhythm of the waves steady beneath you. Looking out across the boat. Family moves about. Sulfrine, ever watchful, offering quiet reassurance. Iden, keeping to the shadows, her keen eyes scanning the waters. Jofridir, bold, fearless, standing close, his presence a comfort. In front of a ship, a figure that must be Ivor, works with measured precision, guiding your course. Journey has been long, marked by hardship and strife. In this moment, all is calm. Taking a deep breath, taking pride in how far you've come, how far you've brought. It's a presence at your shoulder. It stills your heart in an unfamiliar way, steadying, grounding. Presence that you recently thought you lost. Here, again, warm, real. Glance to the side, gaze falling upon a dark feminine hand adorned with rings of silver and pearl, shaped with the imagery of waves and sea creatures. Sight stirring something deep within you. Memory long carried but now tangible once more. As a gust of wind fills the sails of your ship, as it surges forward, water crashes around you. There's no fear, no sense of urgency, only the steady beat of the ocean, ever distant horizon, drawing increasingly near. The precipice, where the world falls away. You feel no dread, just peace. The hand on your shoulder. You know all will be well. Well before. You wake for a moment. Slow, steady breath. Warmth of the dream lingering like a fading tide, before the cold reality of the mountain morning settles back.
Really well. My course is guided. We will be together. When
Right.
I take like a deep breath. Do I still smell the sea?
A little bit. It's still just. It was there. It's gone, but it's like it's still there. The senses are still there. Are we all?
I think we're still waiting for Conrad.
Do you have any hand motions, gestures we can do?
Yeah,
There we
got
go.
there.
We made it. We did it. We got him.
All right. Yofrid here. Night remains calm. Only the soft crackle of the ice as it's shifting on the stone, the snow as it moves across, and the slight whistle of the wind.
As expected.
And we move to the fourth watch, which is Torsten.
Grabbing his axe, he will kind of crunch through the snow until getting to Torsten, which he will wake up.
Already, like, awake, just sort of lying there.
Yoverdir looks down. Torsten looks up. And they just meet eye contact. My time's coming near. I think you're taking next.
Anything you see?
Just home. Nothing out of the ordinary.
He'll sort of like get himself up. And we'll before Yofrid like settles down to grab some sleep, we'll sort of put like one hand on each of his like his upper arms and just be like, our course is set. We're doing what she wants.
Yoferdir just takes it as it is. Then we shall keep moving in the morning.
Yeah. Head towards the precipice. And with that, he'll let go and head outside.
Yoferdir is going to sleep. Get the CPAP.
Immediately falls asleep on his feet, collapses to the ground. It's fine.
Good thing you brought that fainting couch, right?
It's paying.
All right.
It was worth the outlay already.
As Torsten heads out, the waning night hours, fourth watch beginning, quiet hush of the night, gentle snowfall, gentle breeze. And in the distance, faint sounds of nature begin to emerge, subtle rustlings, distant call of a bird, signs the world is beginning to wake. Anything that Torsten wishes to do on his watch?
Noticing like hearing like the animal sounds and stuff. He'll consider it. He'll look at the horses. And he'll just sort of nod to himself. And how do I display a spell in the chat thing?
Just drag it over into the chat box. Drag the little red dot.
Oh, I just mean like the description of it. Does it not? What if it doesn't have one? Is there a way to do that? Spell.
If you open this spell with a little dot, there should be a little speech bubble with 3 dots, and it says output record to chat. I think that's
perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'd like to do this. I'd like to try and get some of the reindeer. I'll try and get Briora to intercede to get us 3 reindeer.
Okay.
With full riding adornments. And a banner, which is like a variation, like it's his personal one, but the one that he intends to hand down to Yofridir at some point. And now he can, because it is, it's set over like the wave of like the sea at the bottom. Then there are so you see the sea at the bottom. Then from the top come two sort of jagged fingers of land, which look like Trefort Punkt and Taggart Punkt. And then in the middle, they sort of both the points sort of meet around a dragon's skull.
All right. What color are the horses?
Oh,
Or the reindeer, I suppose.
let's see. I don't know what
Doesn't
color
say it has to be
reindeer are.
realistic colors, so
That's true. That's true. I was doing the colors of the French flag. No.
Red, white, and blue. Wait.
Oh, that's where you guys got it from. No. Well, it'll just be like a darker one, almost like a dark gray, like one that's like Ronin color, and one that is almost pure white.
okay.
It'll spend the 10 minutes. It's one action, isn't it? Find Steed. It's weird. Find Steed takes 10 minutes, but this is 6 seconds, which seems.
Hey, because it's Brior doing it on your behalf.
It would be anyway. If I cast Find Steed, it takes me 10 minutes to find a single horse, but 3 reindeer, just on demand.
All right.
Well, yeah, you're just
Summon-
borrowing them from Santa Claus. It's
Yeah,
alright.
disregard that they're kelpies because they're Brioran. It's fine.
We don't talk about that. It's only weird if we talk about it.
All right. As you summon your regal procession, banner and all, you what's your passive perception there, Torsten?
It's going to be 15.
Okay. Catch sound from back outside of this little valley that the mine's at the end of. And see emerging from the snow a lone reindeer that steps cautiously forward. I love that you did this and I had this planned already, but its head lowered as it's searching for food through the thick snow, and then soon another one follows behind it, and then 2 more as 4 reindeer enter the clearing.
Hell yes.
Barely visible in the dim light. They tread carefully, ears twitching at the faintest sound as they hear your magical reindeer make a few sounds and then react and quickly head up, looking around, checking what's here. They keep their distance, not getting really any closer than about 120 feet out. And just have a nice sight of nature as you pass your watch as they continue to stay at a distance, rear up every once in a while when they hear a sound, but they don't run. Eventually, you start to see the first golden rays of sunlight cresting the eastern horizon, illuminating the snowy expanse before you. As the long night is ended, with it your watch is completed. As you each in turn stir from your rest as the hut drops as the 8 hours runs out. Everybody gets their alarm clock, goes off. It's time to wake up as the snow starts to fall on your faces. Crisp morning air greeting each and every one of you, sharp and refreshing. As light snow flurries drift lazily through the still air, carried by the barely perceptible breeze as Magical Hut vanishes, leaving behind a hollowed out impression in the snow. stark reminder of the night's heavy snowfall. Beyond the sheltered space, you see the untouched landscape glistening under the morning light as the world awaits.
Good morning, birds. Good morning, sun.
I don't think there's any birds for us.
There
No, we would
is
have eaten them.
like driftwood around, or not drift. I'm sorry. There's trees around us.
A few.
Just real inland driftwood.
Just just drifted in on the snow. I'm sorry. I don't nature too much. I'm not that kind of druid. But Zidri's gonna go ahead and gather some things for a morning fire.
Okay.
He's gonna try to be the Lonin of the morn.
When you're out collecting wood, you do see 3 reindeer just hanging out next to Austin.
With full bits and bridle kitted out.
Zedri's gonna like think about it for a little bit, and he's just gonna like walk off and like collect the wood. And then the time he comes back with a huge bundle of wood. Yeah, okay. I tried thinking about it in like every single manner. With reindeer, sure, but how did you get the bridles and all of that?
I asked Briora for an intercession to make our travel quicker.
There's so much that I could learn from you, but there is so little time to go ahead and pick your brain about it. And Zidri will go and make the fire, offering a little prayer to Infernus before throwing that spark in that kind of alights the dual flame.
Kiesel will get out to stretch and do a little workouts with Jofridir, and he comes out and sees the reindeer. I spent my watch sleeping. Your watch was just watching. Your dad works fast.
Yeah, Lonan will also join the boys for their morning exercise.
Is everyone going for a run?
As you are all taking in your morning constitutional, whatever else you're doing. Those with passive perceptions of 15 or above hear just a rush of air. Something cuts through the sky above you. You glance skyward, see the belly of a silver dragon flying overhead, heading east.
Are you gonna stop and say hi?
There's not time for that. She's too busy with dragon shit.
Well,
Gotta
I
hit
feel like
Starbucks on the way.
well, I feel like that confirms for us which way we're supposed to be heading, if we didn't know already. And I feel like that also tells us we should be in a hurry. Hey, to those who had a watch last night, did y'all see any weird lats, like almost like lightning in the sky, in that direction?
I did.
I
Lightning?
didn't.
Zidri, did you see anything? I don't remember.
No. Admittedly, I was a little more focused on Bjorn's flute.
I don't think so. Lonan?
I mean, I'm the one who brought it up.
Sorry, I don't think so, Lonan.
Oh, sorry.
Cadence.
Yeah, no. Plus, headache. Great timing. That's weird. I mean, Yeah, the storm picked up really bad after I said some prayers and saw that weird light in the sky.
It is nice of them to guide us to where we need to go.
What?
The lights, I assume they are coming from the people who we are getting my family back from.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I think I misunderstood you for a second. I mean, yeah. Good to know which direction we're heading.
Well, if it is a heralded approach, then I would very much say that stealth probably won't do us very good.
Then we should head out right away.
Agreed.
Checking it with the dragon, though, right?
I mean, she's flying ahead. Is she stopping?
She didn't
I
check in with us.
think she's intending us to follow.
We should mount up and leave.
Leave it on new rides, right? What's up with the reindeer? Spend your night trapping.
I merely asked Briora for an intercession to allow us to reach our destination faster.
Excellent. They're real, right? We're not going to fall through them and they turn into vapor.
I'll like pat them and I'm just like, they are essentially extensions of mine and Brior as well.
Sure.
They will stay with us until they're no longer needed.
You are quite blessed with the fact that Briora has your back, so
I like to think of it as I put in a lot of work throughout the years. And, I never really asked for much.
it absolutely shows, and I'm very lucky to be traveling with you right now.
I'll look at the horses and the reindeer. I'll just be like, I figured that the bulkier among us would find it easier to travel on these. They are stronger than regular animals. They're quite intelligent as well. They will understand you when you talk.
Zedry elbows Alfred!
They cannot talk back, but they understand.
Alfred will just walk up to one of them.
Which one? Gray, Roan, or white?
Ronan.
Okay. I'll just be like this. This is Striker. Named for my brother.
Okay.
He passed into Brior's embrace some time ago.
I'm sorry to hear about that.
I appreciate the concern, but he has been dead many years now. His spirit imbues a little bit onto here.
Alfred will turn back towards Striker, sort of gingerly putting a hand up, with the palm side down towards the snout, just sort of giving.
I'll sort of like sniff underneath, and then sort of like almost like knock your hand up with its nose, and then sort of like allow your hand to fall back on it, and then just sort of accept it. I'm just like,
Oh, thank you, Striker. Yeah.
And he'll just start to pet.
I think he likes me.
you could ask him.
Do you like me?
The reindeer just sort of like snorts. I'm just like, from what I can gather, that probably means yes. I don't know. I don't speak reindeer, but
Well,
it's pretty
now you're
unequivocal. It's very binary. If he didn't like you, I feel like you'd know. My brother was always like that. He made friends quickly, and enemies fast as well.
Well, Striker, I hope we shall be friends and not enemies. I have too many enemies already.
another like snort from the reindeer. And then Torsten like laughs, and it's just like, I feel like you two will get along.
Alfred just continues to pet and get lost.
Torsten
Alright.
like taps the white one. It's just like this will be my steed with my banner. I didn't ask for the banner, but Bear has a sense of humor, it seems. And I'll look at like Joffrey, and I'll just be like, I feel like this last one. He recognizes you already, so. It's this is Eldgrim, your uncle. Part of him anyway.
Pet.
Just
Scratch.
just no reaction. Just like completely turns and like locks eyes. Well, locks eye, I should say, with Joffrey.
Without saying anything at all. What a mutual understanding of each other we already have.
You're always like your uncle. A man of few words, but with plenty to say. And I'll pat the white one and just be like, and this is Sigurd. It is fitting that as we go to save my family, that my father would help carry me one last time. With that, he'll like put a foot in the what's that? And like throw his leg over the reindeer.
So
This is the tall. This is a big reindeer. Torsten is a large man. There is a huge banner with a dragon skull behind him. If you'll allow it, could the sunlight just glint off everything metal that he owns in this moment?
You catch the last rays of sun before it moves up into the cloud cover. Just for a moment, everybody gets just this little blinding light as it shines off of, yes, every metal possession you have.
Fun fact for Alfred and Joffrey, if you lean down and smell the manes, not the manes, but where the hair is, it smells of sea salt. It smells of the sea.
That's a not so fun fact.
Ha ha! That's a very fun fact for Jofredir. Jofredir probably does a very deep inhale and like a calming sense probably comes over him. Alfred, probably not so much.
Alfred retches.
Please do not throw up
No.
on my brother.
No.
On that note, we begin our journey.
We'll hop on our blue horses so that we can go ahead and ride with these summoned reindeer
Really?
behind a dragon.
We're going incognito. Nobody's ever going to notice you.
No, not at all.
All right. As you break camp, mount your mounts. And I believe, so that would put us at 6 mounts to 7 of you. So we still got one double up somewhere in there.
Well, someone's riding on the sled.
Or yes, or somebody's riding on the kind of busted up sled a little.
Lonan can ride with Zedri. Zedri will make the offer.
Sure, if you're comfortable with that?
Yes. I mean, I would suppose that if you are riding the horse and you notice those lights in the distance, you'll probably take up the front. You probably take point on leading us with Torsten.
Yeah, I can do that.
Cool. Zidru will go ahead and get up on the mount and grip her around her waist, and he will be ready to be passenger princess.
All right, as you head back down the trail from the mine that leads back towards Bjorn's flute, reach that fork in the road between the northern road and the eastern road. Head east, away from the village, pressing eastward into the snowy hills. In the crisp morning air, as light flurries swirl around you, gradually growing in intensity. As gentle breeze picks up. Rolling landscape stretching ahead, blanketed in an unbroken sea of white, save for the subtle depression that you follow, believing to be the trail. Above, a thick gray sky looming, diffusing the daylight into a cold, featureless glow with no sun in sight. Aboard your blue-black steeds or summoned reindeer, you ride the hooves of your mounts crunching softly against the packed snow, which is really the only thing you hear out across the vast, quiet expanse. As you pass the first couple hours of your journey, Lonan, I believe we established you were up front with your princess in tow.
Yes.
You spot off on one of the hillsides, not too far to the north, a break in the white, a stark red mass sitting in the snow, partially buried beneath the snowfall, but enough that it stands out as being not just another rocky outcropping. It's clearly red in color.
She'll point that out to the rest of them. Is that something we want to check out?
Do we have time to be stopping for something?
With as dramatic as our mounts have been in appearance, I think we should maybe leave those calls up to the... I just kind of nod towards Earford and Torsten.
Sorry, what? What was happening again?
And Lonan spots a red mass on one of the hillsides, partially buried by snow.
How far from us is it, approximately?
100, 150 feet.
There's nothing to lose if it is on the way, and you can veer off and check.
Yeah.
Alright, we'll pull over.
Lonan and I guess Zedru too will go over and check it out.
As you draw closer, grim scene reveals itself. You find the carcass of a reindeer, stripped nearly to the bone. Its remains, brutal contrast against the pristine snow around it. Deep claw marks, scattered fur, speak of a violent end for this creature. But the true culprit is made pretty clear by the heavy tracks pressed into the ice nearby. Paw prints, unmistakably those of a bear, leading away toward the not-so-distant mountains. The wind stirs slightly, carrying the lingering scent back to the rest of the party. The magical reindeer reacting rather negatively to the smell of a dead fellow non-magical reindeer, but as they all give a little bit of a snort, a little head shake. There doesn't seem to be anything else to do.
Is it mostly because And correct me if I'm wrong, but from how you're describing it, it's mostly uneaten.
No, it's mostly picked clean.
Okay, I misunderstood. I'm
It's
sorry.
stripped down to the bone, right?
Oh, okay.
Bad to the bone.
Yeah.
The only way you're able to identify what it is the head's been mostly not much done to the head, but the body itself has all been pretty well stripped of bone. Do you continue on back to the path?
Well, it'll say a quiet prayer to Noctalis on its behalf, but yeah, turn back to our path.
Zidru will
Another
also
couple
say
hours. Oh, go ahead.
Zidru's also going to say some words. He doesn't necessarily think that incinerating the corpse would be the best call, so he will reserve the call to be Lodin's.
You pass the next couple hours. Pretty much, while there's not sun glinting off the snow to like actively be snow blindness, like blinded by that bright, it is just pure white, hill after hill after hill. You're able to keep this path, but there is just nothing aside from the mountains to the north and a very distant visage of mountains off in the distance ahead of you as well. As you continue your trek across this white expanse, against that backdrop, Lonan at the front, you notice two mounted figures rise over the top of a hill, riding similar blue-black steeds to those of you that are on the horses. Forms bundled in thick furs against the biting cold, and a large flat sled trails behind them, gliding smoothly over the snow, though at this distance it appears to be an empty sled, as they are heading in your direction and appear to be traveling on the same trail that you are.
Salinas is going to try to urge his mount closer to the front. If he is made aware of this.
Lonan will kind of mention it, but she's also gonna say, probably best we just keep moving. Got a destination, and if they don't stop us, we ain't stopping them. Would be my best bet.
Agree. But never hurts to be prepared.
Kiesel will grab a javelin in preparation. Just in case they get a little too close. He's just going to kind of grab a hold of the javelin and just kind of keep it like right here in the front. Holding for any aggressive actions.
That's such porch shotgun energy. Oh my gosh.
I'm from here, aren't you?
I killed a dragon. What you doing?
I won a football match and got the cheerleader.
All I'm asking is don't make it seem like you're being the one aggressive.
Oh,
Nope.
no. That's what these things are for. To keep them at a distance. If they want to not be at a distance.
The figures move steadily across the hills in front of you. At first, you weren't sure if they had really noticed you and picked up on you. There was probably a moment where you may have been able to try and flee or hide, but that moment quickly passes as they continue following their own course. They don't make any aggressive moves towards you or pick up their pace. They just continue on their current path as you start to hear the muffled sound of their hoofs moving through the snow as these two individuals approach you, meeting on the path. As there's one rider in front a little bit. The second rider is back about half a horse length, and then the sled is being pulled behind that second rider's horse. The lead rider is a striking woman. Beautiful features, bright blue eyes piercing through the cold air, giving a sharp, observant gaze. Black hair, neatly braided, hanging down at the back of her neck, and then wrapped around, coming out in front underneath the hood of her furred coats. A small nose, strong yet feminine features, giving her a fairly commanding presence. She's a bigger build, exudes a little bit of strength. Definitely a certain cautiousness as she approaches you, as her eyes are constantly scanning over the party as well as the surroundings around you. Face shows some signs of age, some signs of experience. But her movements remain fluid, composed, very direct, suggesting a sense of purpose as she guides her horse through these hills and towards your party of 7. The other rider appears to be a giant, well over 7 foot tall, nearly 8 foot. Rough features, partially obscured by the furred hood, leaving his face fairly well shadowed. You can see his brown eyes glinting with a keen observance as he scans the surroundings, as cautious as the lead rider. Don't see any visible signs of hair, whether it's neatly hidden underneath his fur hood or there isn't any, as his clothes pulled very tightly, attempting to keep warm. A heavy-set frame, broad shoulders, thick limbs, suggesting immense physical strength. Despite his size, he moves with surprising control and purpose. Alert, cautious, taking in the environment around him. As these two move towards you, that's where we'll stop for today.
And then I cast Fireball.
This is why you're
I
a
cast
spellcaster.
Fireball.
Too powerful.
I cast.
Me.
I
picking up
don't have
Fireball.
access to the spell Fireball, ironically enough.
Not being a spellcaster is a self-nerf,
Well,
so you're
Here,
welcome.
you can write me a spell scroll for Speak with Animals, and I'll write you one for Fireball.
That's equivalent exchange if I've ever heard it.
Or maybe a Fireball necklace in exchange for that nice fancy ring you got on your finger. Or in return for the nice fancy ring on your finger.
All right, so that is where we will wrap things up for those watching on demand. If you're watching out there on demand, thanks for watching, but come watch live on Twitch. More fun, more engaging. I had some interesting conversations going on in the chat. And also, get involved, join the Discord, enjoy the memes and GIFs and all that lovely stuff that gets posted during chat, during the session. It's a lot more fun, interactive experience than just watching the show. So, but we still appreciate you. Thanks for watching. And we'll be back next week with who are these two mysterious individuals on the road, and how much further is this road that Alfred says goes on forever.
It keeps on going.
Till then. Later, VOD viewers.
Goodbye.